welcome back to card number 2 for this month. So in this tutorial, we're gonna make this card, and I did stamp the inside. This is actually a little preview of the November stamp of the month, which is really gorgeous. So this is a 3-word stamp, and I just colored them in, I think it was Harbour, Paprika, and Toffee, and just super cute. So this is an old set from a couple years ago with those pumpkins, but I love them because they're just so natural looking. And I know this is no longer available. This is sold out very fast, but currently we have a stamp set from Cozy Up, and that set, including the dies, is still available, so I will link it below. Those pumpkins look very nice too, and that would be my second grab to use those if I wouldn't have this set. But yeah, this is an old and goldie, and I just love those. So if you happen to have those, perfect. Otherwise, like I said, if you're in the market for some nice pumpkin sets, I will put that one down below. Or actually, let me see if I can find it in the book to show you. It was part of the, it was in the July-August book. And this one here. So these ones are very nice, and they will work too. They have a little bit shading. They look a little bit more organic. And with the way we're gonna shade them, you can make them into any pumpkin or gore you want. So this would be the set. It's Z4755, but I will link it below. Okay, so I can't show you. Can I show you? I can't show you. So watch my walkthrough of the new book, upcoming book, November, December, and I can show you the the November stamp of the month, which is called Thanks a Bunch. Has a whole bunch of thank yous, different versions of it. Really great. So let's get started here. This paper is also from an old set, but this one is actually still available as bulk. So that means 12 sheets of this paper, and in the back it's a pink stripe one, and I will show you here when we unwrap this. Okay, and I left this one blank. So if you're subscribed to my card class and you don't want this on the inside, just flip the card over, cover the front up, and then you have your blank inside here. I just might turn this into a birthday card, so I just leave it open for now. We have these pieces of paper. So here's our fall paper, and then this is a piece of Harbour that goes on the bottom. And then we have a strip of papaya glitter paper, which is still available. By the way, gorgeous glitter paper. If you have melon at home from this year's color of the year, that will work too. And then these ones are cut with the Cricut from, yeah, I have to look up which digital collection that was from. Could be, no, I look it up. I link it below. So anyway, these are the 2 leaves, and then these are dies that came with this set, and I used our Pebble. So Pebble is a very light gray, and this cardstock is retired, but it is still available, and it is a great light bluish gray, perfect for gores. So I used the darker side of the paper, and then I stamped it in I think charcoal, so another gray. And then I found this one here in my stash. So that's a metallic jelly roll. Does it say the color? No, but it has this nice copper color. So I just went over the stems a little bit. And I mean, they're pretty as they are, so we could put them just down as they are. But as you can see here, mine have a little bit definition, and we're gonna work on this in a second here. So let's adhere the papers first. and then we're gonna start with the rest. All right, so this is the back side of this paper. So you get 12 sheets of it. Maybe you have a friend you want to share it with. If you're living in my area and you just need a couple of pieces, you can always just call me and see if I have them. Then I can give you a sheet or two. All right, so this one here goes all the way to the top. And then we put in the Harbour. And like always, adhesive is empty. Never fails. Okay. Off we go. So this one goes to the bottom, and the reason why I put one on the top and the other one on the bottom is in case they don't overlap or do not butt up directly in the middle. Like here you can see there is a tiny little bit gap, and that can happen. So I'm gonna cover this up anyway with the glitter paper, so we're good. And I'm using liquid adhesive with the glitter paper because it's such a thin strip, and I don't want to get adhesive left and right. Plus this is perfect to adhere these thin leaves. And there's a lighter and a darker side. This is our rosemary colored cardstock, and I'm just gonna put a little bit on here. And that way this can dry too. And the rosemary is a current color, so you can get this in ink and cardstock. Okay, I'll put this about here. So the rosemary is not included in this paper, but it works so fine with it. So always remember, even if you have old Close to My Heart paper, or not current one, let's put it that way, usually you can always make it work with the current cardstock colors, which is really nice. So for the coloring, or let's say the shading, I got these stencil brushes, and I don't know, I think I got them on Amazon because we don't have them, and I hope we get them. We have the big brushes, you know, those black ones from Close to My Heart, but not the detailed ones. So they're like stencil brushes. But if you have a brush that has a harder bristles, you know, like the flat ones, they will work too. Not the soft kind, but the harder ones will do too. And the pewter is a gray. If you don't have it, you can use charcoal. Just be careful not to put too much on your brush. So I squeezed my lid a little bit. And if you're doing this at home, you can use your Versamat, not your Versamat, sorry, your all-purpose mat, and put some of the ink on there. Or you can use a block, an old block, and squish some ink on there. That way you can close the lid and don't have to worry about it drying out, the ink pad drying out too fast. So I pick up a little bit color, and I'm turning in my hand this brush back and forth, and then I just go from the center to the middle of each of those little, a little bit more, partitions of the pumpkin. And you don't want to go all the way across, you want to go section by section, so it just makes it look more natural. And make sure you kind of like stretch it out towards the middle of the pumpkin, simply so you don't get harsh lines. If you get, that's fine. I mean, nothing is perfect, and even in nature, right? So And often when I pick up paint here, so I start with, you know, direct going into the ink and smush it out here, but then I just go back in that corner where I already thinned out the color naturally a little bit, so I don't pick up a big load. Because if you would pick up right here in the center and not do this, you would have really dark gray, and we don't want that. Okay, and then you can just, there's plenty of ink left on your brush to do the edges a little bit if you have too harsh lines, but I just leave it and let it dry. Now let's go to the next one, and we do the same thing here, just going from the center. And you don't have to rub hard. And this is not a precise thing either. We just want to give it a little bit shade. So if these ones are all covered in the back, that's fine. Okay, let's do the little one. And if you go in circles, that makes it easier too. You want to practice this. I know this is kind of hard if you never tried this before, but it's, you're holding a brush like you're doing watercolors or something like this, so you don't want to put too much pressure on it. Now I'm taking the bigger one, I'm doing the same thing, so I'm going into the ink first, and then I use this part down here to get it completely into my brush. And then I'm just go here by the edge. And I'm kind of following the round flow here a little bit. So on this side here, I'm going from top to bottom. This one is in both ways, and then this one goes from this side down. And I think that's fine. Now we're doing the same here. And it's easier when you have a smaller brush, so don't try these fine little things with a big one. But you can use your alcohol markers too to do this, or pencils, or our new coloring pencils that we have that would work too. They have a couple grays in there. It is just to give it a little bit more life, you know, so they look a little bit more real. Okay, one last one here. And we do the same thing. I'm just going into the bottom part here, and I leave the center as is. So we have a little bit of a highlight. It's not quite correct, I know, but it just makes it look more real. All right. And how much you want there on contrast and how little, it's up to you. Usually when you use our inks here, they always dry a little bit lighter, so you might want to go back into them, but I think that looks pretty good. So you want to use a light gray. I mean, you can do it with white, but then that's a very harsh contrast. So if you want to do pumpkins, I would go with like the Paprika or our new pumpkin cardstock, and then use the same color to color them in a little bit or a little bit brown carefully. So you have to test it. But in this case, the pewter is a nice medium. You can use the charcoal, like I said, just make sure you rub it off a little bit on the side before you go onto your project. But for the base to cut out, if you use, let's say you don't have the pewter color anymore, we have linen, which is a very light gray. That will work. You just add carefully. You could add color all over the pumpkin and then go extra on the edges and in the center to make it a little bit darker. Or if you use the charcoal instead of using the true color, remember Close to My Heart has two colors on their cardstock. So one is the the true color, the darker side, and then on the back is the lighter side, is the same color but a lighter hue of it. So if you use the charcoal, then don't use the true color, the dark one, turn it over and use the back side. But linen might be a better option if you don't have that one. Pewter would work, but this one is retired. And so would Pebble. Pebble is still, the cardstock is still available. So, all right. And there you have it. So this is pretty much all I did to my pumpkins, and I think that makes a big difference, and it's super easy, super fast. Now all we have to do is adhere them, and this one went directly on the paper, so we're just gonna put some adhesive on here, which oops, there we go. And this one goes about here. And then the other two are raised. Let's start with the big one. I swear, so scissors and these foam things, they have a tendency to disappear on your desk, at least on mine. I don't know how I make it, but sometimes it's like I have 3 scissors laying around here and I have all 3 used and I can't find one. So, all right. Let's put this one about here. And then this little one. So the little one overlaps this one here a little bit. Since they're gonna be on the same height, I'm only gonna put adhesive down here. And I leave the corner, this side here, a little bit open, so we can just tuck it on top of the other one. If I would put adhesive or foam on that one too, it would kind of like stand up because now it's double mounted and we don't want that. Okay, and I think we put this one right here. And there you have your card. So on the inside I did just a little bit black doodling again, do a couple. And yeah, we stamped those, but since I leave this one open because I think, like I said, I'm gonna convert this into a birthday card too. So these are the 2 different varieties, and I think those gores are just perfect this way. And I love the little metallic shimmer that this pen gave. So I have to see if I find it more, because this is on at the end of its lifetime, I think. And this is like a copper color, so really pretty. All right, so if you like this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it, and it would also help me with my channel. If you haven't done so, subscribe. I post usually once a week a card making tutorial, or also or page layouts. depending on how much time I have, but I try. So stay tuned. There's more to come, and I hope I will see you here next week. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.